Da 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 da, dude looks like a lady. Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, attraction, game, psychology, human dynamics. As of today, I've decided, it's probably available from now, but as of recording this video, I have made a Patreon available as to where I will be going in depth, moment by moment, second by second, assessing and analyzing real dating footage. Okay, so if you're interested in reading people becoming better in regards to your communications with the fairer sex and so forth, the link is in the description. As the contrarian I am, I thought I would do this video, an honest video, in regards to the opposite side of the coin. Okay, so red pill videos, attraction videos, manosphere videos, and so on and so forth. These people always obsess and speak on masculinity as if you yourself are to devote your entire being, character, spirit, as being the most overtly macho and masculine man you can be. Now, I can understand some aspects of it, but if that's not within you, if that's not within your childhood, your development, if that's not your genuine identity, then pursuing that might not be in your best interest, because not only are you going to live an unfulfilling life pretending to be somebody you're not, but people will be able to tell. So this video is in regards to the feminine masculine. This is just as attractive to a woman as the burly macho man, and in some degree, maybe more so, but people don't want to talk about this because generally speaking, people just take a heads up from the next man and then rehash that information and send it on to the next man. Androgyny is a powerful tool, and it has been since the dawn of time. So when we speak on effective communication and finding common ground and finding familiarity to bring each other's walls down, so we're less defensive, more receptive in conversation, in persuasion, in whatever you would like, that comes down to the image as well. You can be handsome and you can be a man whilst pertaining, accentuating, and maybe flaunting feminine traits. There's femininity within every man, to some degree or another. That's the way it is. That's the yin and yang, that's the balance of life. When you were growing up, unless you were around purely men 24 hours a day, every day of the week, up until your brain had fully developed, you will have been influenced through one way or another by the feminine. You will have allowed insight into the feminine. Now, why is this attractive? So we speak on finding familiarity. What's more familiar than somebody who looks alike you? You know that women tend to be bisexual and have it promoted within that realm more so than the man, as to where he will be shunned to showcase homosexual traits. So you as a man, as a heterosexual man on a date or trying to attract women, and a heterosexual woman who has had the idea of bisexuality promoted to her as okay, and perhaps potentially biologically is swinging that way from time to time, why can you not fulfill both? What are you on about? You tell me to be feminine. Oh, no, 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 I'm a pimp, man. I'm a pimp. Well, have a look how a traditional American pimp will dress. straightened hair, glitz and glamour, bright colours, jewellery. Is that not feminine? Pedicures, manicures, glistening teeth, an incredible amount of time taken in their image and self care. Is that not feminine? If you are a creative individual by default, you are feminine. When we speak of the ego and when we speak of narcissism, I am not speaking on a narcissist. I am not speaking on an overt or a covert narcissist. I am speaking on a spectrum that exists within all of us that spans from narcissistic to empathetic. Empathy on one side, looking outwards, which is what we should aspire to be as much as possible, so we can have insight through the eyes of others and understand what they are seeing, so we can understand and communicate with them better. And then on the flip side of the spectrum, we've got narcissism, as to where we are so self indulgent and we are forever within our own worlds and our own heads, and nothing else matters. We exist on a line that fluctuates day in, day out, day by day. So if the woman is in that narcissistic space and sees somebody who is alike her in some realm or another, jewelry, nice hair, takes care of himself, on a subconscious basis, she is going to see you as one of her tribe. She's not going to see you as a woman. Don't get me wrong, it's very clear through your bone structure, through pheromones, through all of this natural biological expression that you are a man. But there's something about you which is different. Now, let's emphasize on different. You're not afraid of promoting these feminine qualities. You've not been beaten down by the stick of the world in telling you you can't fluctuate and blur the lines. And I'm not saying you're going out there and cross dressing and looking odd. But what you're doing is being yourself. If this is within you, if you do like jewelry and chains and bracelets and earrings and piercings, and you don't want to keep your hair short and trim, you want to let it loose and long. To the extremes of who we have before us now, Mick Jagger wearing makeup, literally wearing lipstick and eyeliner. Women are attracted to the rock stars, women are attracted to the feminine, skinny male model. Women are attracted to the emotional man from time to time. I'm not speaking on every woman because clearly that isn't the case, but some very much are. So, what I have ahead of me, if I just get it up now, is a list of feminine characteristics. And I want you to look inside. And if you find correlation and affinity with any of these, I don't want you to feel it's a weakness. If anything, it's who you are. And that in itself is a superpower in your aid of attracting who you wish to attract. So traits such as nurturance, sensitivity, sweetness. Oh, he's so sweet. Oh, he's so sensitive. Supportiveness. And trust me, if you get into a relationship, that woman is going to be wanted to be supported one way or another, because if you don't, she will find it elsewhere. Gentleness. Gentleness doesn't mean softness. Have you ever heard of a gentle giant? Somebody who is big and evidently strong and masculine, yet they portray and hold this approachable quality. Warmth. You're not a cold, soulless individual. You're attractive because you're warm. Cooperativeness. Expressiveness. You're expressive. Now, this is something that links in with our non-verbal communication. As a young baby, girls will clock on to body language and the face and the myriad of expressions and gestures people around them make because it's a survival mechanism. Boys and men, not as much so because we can, defend ourselves a bit easier. Survival. Don't get me wrong, we get ourselves into more trouble on a physical aspect, but we can potentially fight off them issues. Whereas the feminine, not as much so, so they learn how to read people a lot better as a very young child. So you as an expressive individual, all right, a feminine trait, especially through the face, you become animated, you become a character, you become somebody, as opposed to being a stone-faced, stern, overtly masculine individual. Empathy, that's a strong one. That's something I get told about every once in a while. You've got no empathy, you've got no empathy, because me as a man, I don't have access to it to the same degree as a woman might. But I try. So, empathy, alright? Understanding the emotion and the feeling that exists within the other party, emotional IQ, affection, tenderness, being emotional, okay? So, that's up for debate. Being emotional isn't a problem. It depends on how you allow them emotions to flow and leave your psyche. Kindness, helpful, devoted, understanding. These are traits that have been cited as stereotypically feminine. When it comes to sex appeal, when it comes to advertisement, when it comes to what garners the most attention, is it the handsome man or is it the beautiful woman? It's the beautiful woman. So if you portray elements of that, you see where I'm coming from. This is the game, and it's not black and white, it's not man and woman, it's not feminine and masculine. You can walk the line and remain a masculine entity whilst being comfortably yourself and existing and flaunting your feminine interest, expression, and creative value. This is incredibly powerful, and as a creative myself, I can speak about this with clarity. If you are an artistic person and you express your emotion through your work, by default, that is feminine. It's a lot harder to work in construction and in manufacturing and to place your emotional baggage and expression within this form of creation, but as an artist and as a creator of your own, that's what adds colour to your work, you see? So, yeah, that's a little game. You know, you'll hear women talk about, oh, I love his eyelashes. If you genetically possess feminine looking, batting eyelashes, you'll hear women say, oh, I love his hair. If you keep your hair healthy and clean and allow it to grow out. He has a great figure, they'll say, in regards to you having a trim waist and great legs. And I'm going to do a separate video on this, but the behind as well. It's overlooked by men because they don't want to delve into that space because it's not masculine, but women love a behind on a man, such as a man loves it on a woman, right? Evolutionary, biologically speaking, it's a showcase of virility. It shows that you can thrust. Yeah, the subconscious picks up on these things. It's all about procreation, isn't it? So, before you sort of take on the image of Andrew Tate, which a lot of people do. Start rehashing and following and, you know, jumping into his every word. Have a think and think, is that really you? And is that really your truth? There are biological imperatives of man and woman. And for you to be able to really concentrate and accentuate and supercharge that which you believe in is definitely going to aid you. But if it detracts from who you actually are, if you are a creative person, if you are a androgynous person, if you are an adventurous and flamboyant and colourful and, as we found out, animated individual, it's best to let that shine. And trust me, it will work way more than pretending to be some alpha male, because that stuff comes natural. That comes through a myriad of different factors and variables. And it depends who you're with and where you're at and what particular time it is and who feels what and who's going through what at that period of time and who's making the decision of who is the alpha male, right? We got Mick Jagger there, we got Elvis Presley, we got Machine Gun Kelly. When they're putting themselves on the forefront and they're the talk of the town and everybody loves them or hates them for what they do, everyone's talking about them regardless. Does that make them alpha? They're feminine as hell. That's a little bit of food for thought, alright? I'm signing out. Peace.